this next little story, I don't want to like go through the minutia of specifically what's on it, but I found a couple things in it that were interesting that I wanted to address just because I find them cool. With this, like I said, there's some stuff in here that I found a little interesting. More than anything, it's when he talks about the scale of the games. He says, like, of course, Assassin's Creed games are huge nowadays. It's not as simple as just a small release, you know, like the original game. Pretty linear, straightforward. Now they're massive games, so to work on it in any capacity is a bit of an undertaking. But one of the things he said, the most recent game, Valhalla, was built by 16 different teams within Ubisoft. That's ridiculous. You know, like, it's like people gave Todd Howard, praise be, tons of crap. Because he said when Fallout 4 was launching, he said, oh, there's a bunch of stuff in the game I've never seen, and I probably never will see it. And he meant it as like, the game is huge. Yeah, there's stuff the game director, haven't even seen. People are like, oh, see, no wonder the game was bad. He doesn't even know what's in it. He's not even paying attention. No, it's that these games are so massive. Even somebody working on the game 8 hours a day for 5 years isn't going to see everything that they have to offer. That's how big these games are. Same with Valhalla. But Valhalla, I think, is even bigger than Fallout 4 in most respects. Even dialogue, I would guess, is probably bigger. But it's just, you know, it's not as simple as just, oh, well, pay attention and know what's in your game. Like, no, it's not physically possible. These games are ridiculously big. But it makes you really appreciate when games that scale are so good, because it's all about the direction and the infrastructure. It's what's really amazing about like Rockstar. How do you make a video game that's developed by thousands of people and make it coherent and fun? How does that even begin to happen? And it's because they have it figured out. And I think that's part of the reason they don't tend to shake it up a lot, because all of the I can't talk. All of the developers on the team know what a good Rockstar game is like. They know what like made GTA 5 click. They know what made GTA 4 click. They know what makes the Red Dead games click. So the members of the team, when they go to make the next one, they just follow in line and do more of that because they know it works. And everybody can kind of rest assured that the other guy is doing the same kind of thing. And that's part of the reason it works, I think. And it's part of the reason why when big studios try to do something big and crazy that's very different, it doesn't always work out super well. Hashtag cyberpunk, because it's hard to coordinate. But it really makes you appreciate just how massive these games are. I will say I lasted longer on Valhalla's main plot than Fallout 4. I legit forgot about the main plot of Fallout 4 after like 2 to 3 hours. Honestly, unironically, that's the best way to play the game, is to ignore the main story, because it's nonsensical. And I've talked about it before too. One of the issues, I think, with Fallout 4 and a lot of games recently is that they ask you to, like, they give you the plot point of the main story, and that plot would, if you took it seriously, would cause you to ignore everything else, right? You don't do anything else except the main story. But you don't, like, the game is built around doing all of this other stuff, you know? And it was the same issue I had with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, one of the best things about it is the side content. The problem is the main story, if you're taking it seriously and actually role-playing, because, you know, it's a role-playing game, then you run into issues because the main story would task you with just going through, blasting through the main story, trying to find a way to save your own life. But the way that you're going to have the most fun is if you ignore that and then just dink around and do random side content. Even though, according to the main story, this is super pressing and you're like totally dying. So it just doesn't work. And same with Fallout 4. Oh no, your son he's been kidnapped. You need to find him. Your infant son. Okay. Well, I'm going to spend 30 hours building my base with a bunch of scrap wood that I found. It doesn't make sense, but that's how you have to play it in order to have actual fun, you know. Witcher 3, yes, to a certain extent, but they did a better job with that game where they will tell you like, okay, we're waiting for news from X, Y, and Z. And certainly the first few hours, like maybe the first 8 hours of The Witcher 3, you are expected to kind of clip along and carry forward really quickly. But then it hits a point once you've like found Ciri and Yennefer, of course, where they have plot points where it's built around you completing other content on the side. Like even just something like with Skellige, you have to reach, I think it's level 16 to move to Skellige and to head over there. So for that, you got to complete a bunch of side stuff. So they force you to go and do side stuff that's really good and really engaging in order to reach that threshold. So they do a better job of it, I think, than Cyberpunk does, but it's all kind of beside the point. Anyways, makes you appreciate how big these games are.